Good morning, everybody, here in this room and out there in online world. Thank you for coming. Welcome to Out Here 3, the third in our series of readings in collaboration with the magnificent and historic Boston Public Library. In the old days, as many of the writers here will remember, we'd be doing this at the Brookline Booksmith or at the Trident Bookstore on Newbury Street. We'd pile onto the Green Line in the middle of rush hour, hold loud and interesting conversations over the heads of stunned commuters, and then emerge to give our readings to a room full of shining faces. Well, these are the new days now, and we're still masked up, and we can't see the shining faces. But we know you're out there, a cloud of witnesses, and the fact and the feel of your presence is what makes us in this room today make sense. So we're very grateful, right, Bubbles? Out here is a phrase I became interested in when I first started meeting members of this community. People who were living on the street would tell me, I've been out here 10 years, or he's one of the biggest liars out here. I became obsessed with it. Out here. It says so much about exposure, about unshelteredness, about difference, about a state of physical and psychic exile from what the rest of us take for granted. And about pride too, and a kind of expansiveness. You're going to be hearing about all of this today, and about a lot of other stuff too. The Black Seed Writers Group is 10 years old this year. We meet every Tuesday morning, whatever else is happening. We write, we publish, we drink coffee, we talk to each other. We have survived many things. And right now, I'm going to get out of the way and let you hear from these writers. You can read along if you like out there in the little virtual pamphlet that we've put together. There should be a link in the chat bar, space, area, room thing on your screen. We'll be dodging around a little bit in terms of who reads what, when, but all of the material being read today, with the exception of Ricardo's piece, which is new, and Roger Morris's piece, which is fresh, will be in there. Okay, big hand for the Black Seed Writers, people. And we are going to kick things off with Mr. Howard Allen Dodge. Come on up, brother. Now, Howie, among his other attainments, is a scholar of the Farsi language. And what he's going to read now is a translation of a love song from the Farsi. Right, Howie? Go ahead.
I'm dedicating this one to my mother. The writing is called Sleep World. You yourself taught me to be alone. The sorrow of this world is in my heart. How shall I stop crying? How shall I stop remembering you? My heart can't be tamed. Your heart's me. You hurt me so badly that I can't stand Sleep World. Nobody got anything to do with me. My loneliness has nobody. My heart does not want any lover. Sleep World rules the day.
Thank you, Howard. Sandra, can I ask you to come up here? Sandra Porter Richardson will now read.
Thank you, my group and community, and thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Parker and family. I've amended this a little bit because I'm in a little pain, so I shortened it, but it's accurate, the reading you have. My poem is entitled, What If? What if the Bible was never written? What would this world be like? What if no one had to go to court or jails for all the wrongs done? What would families be like if there were no boundaries? Who would protect them? How could mankind exist if the powerful and wealthy had their way and they could abuse anyone they chose? What would this world be like if there were no policing systems, jails, churches, synagogues, presidents, or dictators? So you tell me, what does this life and liberty and justice really mean? And is this, in actuality, how the West was won?
Sandra Prince Richardson. Thank you, Sandra. Richie Berman, come on up. The indestructible Richie Berman. Richie's going to read a piece called My COVID Nightmare. He's going to read the first paragraph, and then I'm going to take over. So take it up to 9.
The title of the play is My COVID Nightmare. Actually, I know what I wanted to write about, and I wrote a script about the COVID virus, and then I ended up getting it. It's kind of funny. Then I ended up in the hospital for 4 days because I guess I was at home. And all of a sudden I couldn't, breathe. They had me call 911.
Richie's piece, do you mind if I do the first bit again?
Yeah.
Richie's piece is called My COVID Nightmare. Actually, I know what I want to write about. I wrote the script about the coronavirus, which he did, he's written a play about it, and then I ended up getting it. It's kind of funny. Then I ended up in the hospital for 4 days because I guess I was at home, and all of a sudden I couldn't breathe. They had me call 911. It was a little hard to talk. Ambulance took me to St. E's, then after one night to Carney in Dorchester, where Jimmy G was born. Is Jimmy here? Yes. They gave me oxygen, and they kept giving me shots in the stomach. I guess so I wouldn't get any blood clots. I did not like that. And I also had a diarrhea attack. I actually had regular hospital food. It was okay. I had someone else in the room, an older guy. He had COVID, yeah. He kept getting out of bed and walking. I don't think he liked the hospital. I think he wanted to get out. Then eventually he left, went home. I had the room to myself for a while. I watched Nick Jr., Paw Patrol, right? I had no fever. Then they moved me to another room because they needed the room I was in, because 2 new COVID patients came in. Good grief. And then when I came home, I stayed home for 2 weeks. Richie Berman. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Edge.
Called Time Will Tell. You really need to think about choices you make all the time. Some are good, some are bad, and the point of reason is you think about all the things that you do and the applications you apply to decide your fate. Most of the time your decision is fact and final. There are important things in life you won't be able to change, as well as some you will try to do, but only one has the final choice, the man upstairs. You choose your life, you choose your fate daily, yep. There are things out there you don't know, that's fact. Be who you are, not somebody or something else. You are you, that's it. Things out there will deceive you and not be what they really are. Look at life, look at life for what it is, not false or pretend.
Thank you, John. Let's get Gizmo up here. You good, brother? Gizmo's first time reading with us. Very exciting. Go ahead.
How y'all doing? Escaping my mind. Some may see that they have seen the world. Some may even say that they have traveled the galaxy. But I have escaped eternity through my dreams. And if you ask a sane man by himself, he might even get you to believe in what science fiction calls astral planing. But I have to let you know, as simple and logical as I am, that when times are hard and the battle is all uphill, that's when I drop to my knees and I pray for my escape and my release. And I call, and I can see all the planets in line. I don't know how many times I passed the Big Dipper, time after time. Yes, I have traveled the world, all in my mind. But I keep my God in my heart. This is my real escape, for I have done my part. Peace, Gizmo.
He's been around the Big Dipper, Gizmo. A.J. Hackleman, the Dark Poet, please come to the podium. A.J. is going to read a piece called Transcending Time. Big hand for A.J.
So here's a poem I made that I wanted to write for a while. It's called Transcending Time. Time's a mystery throughout history. Can't escape the theories of lies and adversity. Transcending time throughout history. But time is ill-fated, pushing us in different directions, misleading us our lives, bringing us to our knees. Everyone's lives change throughout time. Is why I write the poems and my rhyme. My voice changes the outlook on life, makes you think and wonder who's a true underdog of time. Life is an abstract, an art to make you think what the real picture is. Will time sit still or continue like an endless loop? No one knows the exposing to an open mind, not a blind eye. So is time really transcending? Are we all living a lie?
Thank you, A.J. I'm going to invite Kevin Walker up to the mic now. Kevin Walker, ladies and gentlemen.
The Pilgrim. A quiet, steady snowfall in sub-freezing temperatures had transformed the Charles River Basin into a glacial Siberian tundra. At 5 a.m. from the confines of my ice-covered, frozen Army surplus sleeping bag, I can peer downriver to the faraway Mass Ave and Longfellow bridges through a frosty haze of snow and ice. Not a living thing can be seen for miles in the Arctic whiteness as the newly dropped snow blankets everything from bench to building to bridge. It is an eerie desolation to be homeless in the cold winter in Boston. No ducks or geese or swans or squirrels on a snowy winter February morning at 5 a.m. Just me in my frozen sleeping bag, bearing witness to the rugged beauty of the Charles River, transformed into an Arctic wasteland, as cold as a mother-in-law's kiss. Wintertime is pilgrimage time when you're homeless. There is something special about sleeping outside and making it through the day when God grants an Arctic gift to the city of Boston. Climbing out of a warm sleeping bag into the icy blackness of a frozen Charles River watershed covered in snow, or wincing at a howling and cutting wind, requires a certain amount of the perseverance found in making a pilgrimage. Each day is different. Each snowstorm is different. Each night in a sleeping bag on a freezing winter evening is different. There is a lost continuity to life when you're homeless, and surviving a harsh winter with only what you can carry. Only the sense of being a pilgrim on God's journey can fill the lacuna of waking up in the snow inside a frozen sleeping bag along the iceberg conditions of an Ice Age Charles River Basin. Saint Joseph Labray, the patron saint of the homeless and of pilgrims, please critique my pilgrimage in the ice and snow to make sure it serves some purpose and is not just some servile, false sense of accomplishment. Thank you.
Our great naturalist, Kevin Walker. Thank you, Kevin. Eric Davis. Can I call on you, brother? Thank you. Eric Davis.
Good morning. Treading softly. As I am walking through the subway tunnels, I see the morning rush of passengers from a distance. They are like a stampede of mad bull elephants charging as they approach the platform to get comfortable position. I walk calmly and zigzag zig, so as not to be trampled or bumped. But one person after the next hits me with the force of gravity that propels them forward. I try to ignore what feels like blatant disregard for my life force and right to walk in peace and harmony. I push forward like a sailboat fighting a storm, just wanting to get through and reach home safely. But the storm is winning. I can feel my rage brewing like bubbles in a fermented beverage that's been shaken. I breathe deeper, but it only intensifies the inner fire within me. Now I am surrounded, feeling like a gazelle backed into a corner by a pack of hyenas. No, 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 don't get upset, I tell myself, but the rage is winning. I can feel my head so hot it feels like a volcano erupting. I close my eyes out of desperation and clear my mind, and when I open them, everything is gone. Ah, the quiet after the storm. It may not always feel comfortable when adversity or challenges present themselves, but because of my love and compassion for life, I tread lightly. Thank you.
Eric Davis, thank you, Eric. I'm now going to call upon, we are tearing along here, my goodness. I'm going to call it, so everybody can take it nice and slow. Don't rush your words. Let them ring out, because we're under no pressure here at all. And nice and close to the mic as well, that's the other thing. That's a message from the library. Nice and close. Chris the Drifter, let's hear from you, brother.
Everybody hear me? Because I know they hear me in all the states I've been to. I Remember When by Chris the Drifter Hallbridge. I remember when Boston Garden was Boston Garden. I remember when the Orange Line was above ground in the South End. I remember when I used to go downhill skiing at Butternut Basin in Great Barrington, Mass. I remember when people didn't have earbuds in their ears. I remember when the combat zone was a combat zone in Chinatown. I remember when family was family and not separation. I remember happiness. I remember Brigham's ice cream. I remember when I used to go to Suffolk Downs for live racing. I remember parades actually meant something. I remember the old Greyhound bus terminal. I believe it was somewhere on Stewart Street in the Back Bay. I remember the old Peter Pan Bonanza bus lines where the Greenway is now. I remember before the Big Dig, Pine Street and Annex had a shelter called 4 Point Shelter. I remember the old Boston City Hospital. I remember when Northeastern University had a football team. I remember the old Calumet Market in Brigham Circle. I remember Liberty Market in East Boston. I remember when there was more community and locals. I remember when crime rate wasn't as high. I remember there wasn't so many outsiders coming in and not knowing what I remember, what Boston was all about. I remember Buzzy's roast beef. I remember our sports teams broke our hearts. I remember when us Bostonians was not spoiled with our sports teams winning championships. I remember the bad things and the good things. I remember when Boston was Boston.
Thank you, Chris. Chris the Drifter Howbridge. Gerald, can I call on you, brother? Gerald Richardson. Big hand.
Morning, afternoon. This piece is called We Will Not. In this life, this day, this time, we continue to vanish. No reason, no rhyme. We will not continue to be so oppressed, because with this behavior, no, we're not impressed. We will not continue to be torn down, because you're not my sheriff, and you don't run this town. We will not with you continue to play, when in the end, it's still us that you slay. For us, this life truly is no game, where faces are forgotten and never mind remembering a name. Where you play with God's goodness for your direction, we jump, never ever realizing we hold the better hand to never more be trumped. We be not scared, and no, we're not hiding. Because we don't care if there's a Joe Biden. The ones like me, we know that this ain't home. So fight if you choose to, but I am not alone. We take on the streets with no bed, but only a cot. We will not be defeated. I promise you that we will not.
Thank you, Joe. Mr. Brian Draker, please come to the podium. This is actually a song that Brian wrote, but he's going to read it as a poem. Here he comes.
Next to James, this is called In Hiding. Guy who comes up with some titles. I'm in hiding from myself. I'm in a wonderland. I'm in hiding from myself. Don't you understand? I'm in hiding. I am who I am. I am who I am. I'm waiting for the right hand. A hand that can hold me. A hand that can scold me. A hand that can take control. A hand that will always know I'm in hiding. I am in hiding. They say we're in this together. Then why do I feel stranded? Why do I feel stranded? Why do I have a life that is managed? Why do familiar faces become the faces of strangers? Faces I no longer know. I'm in hiding. I am in hiding.
Brian Draker, everybody. Thank you, Brian. That was beautiful. We have a little piece of writing that is so fresh. It got written, 30 seconds ago, or finished 30 seconds ago, by Danita Clark. Bubbles, you ready? You'd like to come and read? Danita Clark, everybody. Shall I hold that behind you? Is that good? Yeah. Yeah, this is, oh, it's beautiful. Okay, go ahead.
Good morning. Stop. In the name of love. Have you ever really loved someone and knew they didn't care? Did you ever look into their heart and wish you were there? Did you ever see the lights dim down low and say to yourself, oh God, how I love him so? Don't fall in love, my friends. It only always ends. It only causes heartbreak, and it happens every day. And I'd like to also honor the St. Paul's Cathedral Church for the opportunity they gave me with Boston College students. And I have the front page with the Black Lives Matter, and it was an honor to work with the church and also the Boston College students. And this is the copy of the drawing that they gave me last week, and I framed it and I wanted to share it with the church. Thank you.
Let's get Michael Frader up here. Michael? You good, brother? Next? Okay. In that case, Steve Murray. Steve Murray, please. 1 second, Roger. Steve Murray.
Well, this is called Same Old, Same Old. I remember actually when I wrote this, about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It's called, well, it's a new year. What's changed? There's still the COVID-19, there's still people out of work. So we have a new government, it's still the same. The government is more interested in the former president than they are of the citizens of this country. They put a hold on paying the people of this country to set a trial date for the former leader. So I ask you, what has changed?
Thank you, Steve Murray. Michael Frado's here.
Thank you. Okay, here we go. See if I see this. The maze of 2020. Don't let it happen again, James. The maze of 2020. Life is like a maze. There are lefts and rights, twists and turns. I've walked and walked through my maze of life, so I couldn't walk anymore. And I remember an old wise man had said, when life gives you more than you can stand, kneel. So I knelt, and here I am. So all my readers and good friends, how's your journey through your maze of life? So I get this together. I wish I will. I can't see those things. Yeah. Okay, you read the rest.
I'll read it. Resolution.
Got the right one?
Stand next to me, yeah. Resolution. Everyone tries to make a resolution for the new year. Is that good? Yeah? We can do that.
I want this one. God, gentlemen, I'm sorry.
Don't you worry. We're in no rush at all.
I felt like in a rush. That was my last 2020. Right there.
New Year thoughts. Here we go.
These are probably even better.
Here we go. Thanks, Roger.
No, Roger. This is definitely more.
Nice try. All right. New Year thoughts. Stand here with me.
You
got it?
I think I got this and I wrote it. Okay. I should have put it together, gentlemen and ma'am. Let me settle down. You know what? What Mick we're gonna do, we'll start from the beginning.
Just do one more. Just do one more, okay? Gotta respect people's time, okay?
Totally. The maze of 2020. Life is a maze. There's lefts and rights, twists and turns. I walked and walked through my maze of life, so I couldn't walk anymore. And I remember an old wise man had said, when life gives you more than you can stand, kneel. So I knelt, and here I am. James, did you do it?
I'll just read one more for you, yeah? Nick. Shall I read one more? I'm just going to read one more. Trusting by Michael Frado. I've been trusting in everyone and anything. Seems to be working. But remember, my readers, watch what you pray for. Me, I pray for patience, and the Lord has tested me to my full capacity. But I remember what my parents taught me when I was very young. The Lord is in everyone, if you can bring him out. So where am I today? Hopeful that I will be housed before the week is out. Pray it works out this time, readers. Hope you're all warm. Lord Jesus and Mother Mary, please hold on to me. Michael Frado. All right, Roger, let's have you, brother. Roger Morris. I have the great honor. You going to read it? Beautiful. Much better. Fantastic. Thank you. Roger Morris, everyone.
Calling this Tunnels Without Rhymes. The tunnels of time that blow through my mind as I fly through this tunnel of this thing called life. The first tunnel into life was from the legs of my mother. There are the things we come
to live for, such as the tunnel out of hell that starts this life. These tunnels are the root of evil, such as the lust of something that means nothing. We are just trying to find the tunnel to the end of time. All I ask for is to be loved as a need, not as what I could or could not be, could have had. My tunnels have kept me in this tunnel running through my mind.
Fantastic, Roger Morris. Very exciting. Could I remind everybody we have to keep our masks up? Unfortunately, it's a drag. Oh, there's Kate. Oh, hello, Kate. So we have to keep our masks up. It's a real drag, but there we are. Got to do it. It constricts our communication a tiny bit, but it's all in the name of keeping each other safe. So let's stick with that. I would now like to call upon Augustus Foy. James, come on up, brother.
Good morning, everyone. This here is entitled, So Long, 2020. So long, 2020, I don't know. Seems like 2020 is the year that will not go away. We are in a pandemic, and it appears to be never ending. People are starving, the homeless rate is skyrocket, and the death toll keeps mounting. What in the world are we gonna do? The wealthiest country in the whole wide world, and we the people have been forgotten about, led astray, hoodwinked, bamboozled, run amok, flim-flam, left up the river without a paddle. So long, 2020, I don't think so. We're in dire straits right now. We have the vaccine, but now it appears to be a new problem. The officials can't figure out just how to distribute it. Are you kidding me? Come on now, enough is enough. The American people are hurt and are in despair. Haven't we suffered enough as a country? God help us.
Augustus Foy, thank you, brother. We're now going to have a bulletin from our science desk delivered by Ricardo. Ricardo has been keeping us abreast of all the developments, all the variants, all the vaccines, everything. And he's going to keep us up to date once more. From the science desk, Ricardo.
I'll bring it down a little bit. This is the reality of COVID-19. We will not reach herd immunity until 3 to 5 years from now. There are not enough vaccines for COVID-19 produced because there are 7.8 billion people in the world. And this year, only 2 billion doses of the vaccine will be produced. And if you need 2 doses per person, that means only 12.8% of the vaccines will be available this year. New variants in South Africa, UK, and Brazil are making one of the vaccines, AstraZeneca, not effective. There is a distribution difficulty of the COVID-19 vaccine. A Harvard professor graded the Massachusetts vaccine rollout an F. He said for incomplete. Is Professor Graham Allison. The CDC recommends to use 2 masks for 95% protection. Do we need to use 3 masks for 100% protection? At the present time, there is 142 countries have not received even 1 dose of the vaccine. This means 2.5 billion people. Up until today, 53 million doses have been distributed in the USA. That's only 60% of the population. Let's see. 8 gorillas at the San Diego Zoo have recovered from COVID-19, and 3 sailors on U.S. aircraft have tested positive for COVID-19. Well, that's it for now.
Eight gorillas in the San Diego Zoo have recovered from COVID-19. I think that's wonderful news. I would like to call up Jimmy Watler Jr. Come here, brother. Okay, go ahead.
That's all I want to do is coronavirus. Now you talk for me then.
I'll do it.
Okay. I might get you off that.
Okay. This is called Frustrations by Jimmy Watler Jr. This church never be open on time.
They never do.
They should open early. It's too cold. I was at my friend's house for Thanksgiving. I ate so much, I was like, oh, hell no. You want to do the last part? James Parker needs meditation. I miss my dad. He's in Honduras. I ain't seen him for almost 3 years.
Donald Trump needs to get a damn life.
Get deported.
Get deported.
His damn self.
His damn self.
Jimmy Watler Jr. Thank you. Claire Coachy, please. Nice and slow.
Sitting here thinking, I need to get out of this house. I'm going out of my mind. The voices are back. I'm trying to get out more and keep myself busy so the voices go away. I have a prayer to God. Dear God, please help me with the voices in my head. I believe in you, and they are not real. I put my life in your hands. I love you, God. I pray for my family that they become closer again. I pray for my kids, the help. Amen.
You okay? Yeah. Thank you. Huh? I'd like to call upon Max, please. Come on up, Max. This is really something, this poem. It's highly scientific. What's it called? What is it? The poem is... You tell me.
This poem is called Like a Metronome. It was written after a session of TMS, which is transcranial magnetic stimulation. Tap, 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 like a metronome. Tap, 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 counting time, one would think, but in reality, time is already being kept. Tap, 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 enchanting pulses sent deep, deep within one's soul, rearranging, changing the slimy, gooey, sticky Einstein performance. Tap, 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 cutting deep-seated and broader, till the tapping finds the rightful spots. The flawed compass, tap, 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 to alleviate, rebuild, educate. We all deserve to be happy. Why not start with the pain and the suffering? Tap, 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 for they have the farthest to go, the greatest climb to make, but surely it can be done. We all deserve to be happy. Tap, 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 tap. Thank you.
Transcranial magnetic stimulation. Thank you, Max. I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank John Lane, a proud Black Seed writer who on a normal day would be up here reading his poems, but today he's our communications supremo. He's handled all the tech for this, he's the one to thank for the fact that you're seeing this at all. Thank you, John Lane. Thank you, brother. Now, where is... Okay, Kate and Tommy. Kate and Tommy. And then after that, I think we're going to close with Spider. Yep. Everyone's read, right? Nobody hasn't read? Yep. Kate and Tommy, and then Spider.
Bear with my reading, because my reading ain't that good. Here we are gone. Here we go. New Year's. Now, new president. Let's see what kind of trick this cat pulls off. I guess today we're gonna trust and believe and hope that God put something into these peoples who are running the country. The reality of sickness and caring and believing. So hope. One second. So hope onto your hat or whatever you holding onto, and get ready for this bumpy ride. Cause it's going to be a roller coaster. Then another one. Believe in yourself and believe in God, and come to Black Sea and to let off some of the negative thoughts in your mind, and be positive. And if you don't understand, and I'm saying, if you don't know Baba, if you don't hold on 1 second. Right here. Where? Okay, if you don't understand, and I'm going to say it nicely, put a rubber band around your head and snap to reality. And on that note, peace and chicken grease.
Put a rubber band around your head and snap to reality. Thank you, Tommy. We're now going to close with Mr. Raymond Earl, Spider. He has a joke for us, and then he has a piece about cracking jokes.
All right, quick joke. What did a traffic light say to the car?
Stop, you're at red light.
Anybody know? Don't look, I'm changing. All right, cracking jokes. Since the COVID virus broke out over a year ago, I've been cracking a lot of jokes and smoking a lot of weed, more now than before. And it does kind of help, especially with my PTSD. And I've also noticed that I have been lashing out at a lot of people, which I never should have done, which was very wrong. And I don't know how many times I said how sorry I am. I don't know if they believe me, but I feel like a piece of garbage about it. But they're still my friends, and I don't try to figure it out anymore. I'm just happy to know that they still like me. I don't think sometimes, especially when I'm high, but I'm going to try my hardest not to do and say all the things I had to my friends at Black Seed Writers Group. One way that I think might help with all my friends, if they see me about to say something really stupid, if they can sternly ask me to stop, just say Raymond. And that's the reason why I crack a lot of jokes, because of my past and all the things going on. If they knew what happened to me in the past, they'll understand. And the past affected me really badly, like my brother who was incarcerated to protect us. But all I can say, the only piece of advice I can give to anyone reading this is go online, look up any kind of jokes and read and laugh. If it works for me, it could work for you.
Raymond Spider Earl, everybody. Stephen, I have a piece for you if you'd like to read. Yeah? Come on up. Stephen Jerome is the closer. Come on up, brother.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. This is an old poem from last week. Thank you. And I'm glad to follow my friend Ray. Post-its, secret drawers, and Smith Corona. How to write a poem. Every poet has their own method. Mom composes her lines in a notepad kept in her kitchen desk. Current work on doorknobs is a bit violent, if you ask me. She shared this work in progress last fall and again on Inauguration Day. Poems are new ways that we can relate conflict-free. Every poet has their own method. An old professor friend bestowed a poem on each student at the end of term. I was incredulous. Charles shared his method. Post-its for each student plastered all over his bathroom walls at his house. So the running faucet of his mind flowed through the weeks getting acquainted with the students. I was so young when my brother Ray and I went to sleep to the tap-tap sound of Dad's typewriter, his indelible gift from across the hall on Maple Street. Every poet has their own method to write a poem. Thank you.
Stephen Jerome, thank you, Stephen. Well, with that, we are done. Could you all give yourselves a huge hand, please? Unbelievable array of talent in this room. I'm so proud to have been involved. Thank you to the Boston Public Library. Thank you to everybody who's watching. This is being recorded, so there'll be a link and you can direct anybody who you want to at that link later on. It's going to be up there for a while. So this is all safe in the arms of posterity, and I'm absolutely thrilled that we pulled it off again. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, and we're out.